주지사와 부지사, 주검찰총장, 주상하원 의원들을 뽑는 11월 5일 버지니아 선거가 이제 보름 앞으로 바짝 다가왔습니다. 차기 버지니아 주지사가 되기 위해서 민주당에서는 테리 맥컬리프 후보가 나서 있습니다. 민주당의 테리 맥컬리프 버지니아 주지사 후보는 매우 오래된 한국, 한인 사회와의 돈독한 관계를 과시하면서 경제 성장, 교육개혁, 교통 개선, 헬스케어 확대 등을 내걸고 한인들의 지지를 호소하고 있습니다. 따라서 이번 시간에는 테리 맥컬리프 민주당 후보를 단독으로 만나서 그의 공약을 들어보겠습니다.
What's your priority as a new governor?
Our top priority has to be job creation, economic development. Virginia is in a very unique situation. We are the #1 recipient of Department of Defense dollars. We have sequestration here for the year and probably going in for another year. So we're going to see billions of dollars cut from the federal government. The job of the next governor is how do you grow and diversify the economy? And that's what I talk about every day. I've been in business for 42 years. I started my first business when I was 14. We need a governor who's going to work in a bipartisan way, mainstream, to grow, diversify the economy, and with that, an effective transportation system, quality education, and the Medicaid expansion are all important pieces of how we make Virginia #1.
Opponents criticized you don't have a specific job growth plan. What's your response?
Job creation is about all the folks coming together, working together. We got to have an efficient transportation system. I supported the governor's transportation package. My opponent was against it. $6 billion we now have for transportation. My opponent wants to do a constitutional amendment that will take money out of education from the public schools to go into private schools. I'm not for any money coming out of our public schools. I'm for the Medicaid expansion, which will bring $21 billion back to the Virginia economy. And many Korean Americans today do not have health coverage. With the Medicaid expansion, they will get coverage. It's paid for 100% for 3 years by the federal government. I talk about community colleges. That's how you grow an economy so that a future employer knows that 5, 10, 15, 20 years from today, we're going to have workforce development. That's how you grow and diversify an economy. We have tremendous assets. We have tremendous colleges, universities. We have the deepest port on the East Coast. We have Dulles Airport. But we've got to have all these different pieces working together to have a global economy.
Your rival also criticized you could bring the Virginia government to shut down because you will refuse to sign a budget that doesn't include Medicaid expansion.
Never have, never would. You don't use a government shutdown as a bargaining chip. In what's going on today, and let's be clear, Ken Cuccinelli's allies, the Tea Party, are the ones who use the government shutdown as a bargaining chip to shut down our government, where thousands of Virginians today are at home not working and not spending money, which is affecting grocery store owners, dry cleaners, gas stations, restaurants, all the way down the economic chain. Now this weekend, Ted Cruz, who is the senator from Texas, who led the government shutdown, senator from Texas, came to Richmond, Virginia, and spoke at an event with Ken Cuccinelli. Ken Cuccinelli had the opportunity to stand up and tell Ted Cruz to stop the government shutdown. He refused to do it. And he refused to do it because he does not want to antagonize his Tea Party allies. I'm saying this today. Stop the government shutdown. Put our people back to work. Do not use the government shutdown as an ideological tool. It's just not.
To increase the teacher's salary to improve the public
Yes,
education.
Yes.
How much increase, and can you pay for it without the tax hike?
And this is a real difference between the two of us. As I say, my opponent has sponsored wants a constitutional amendment to take money out of public schools. I don't support taking money out of our public schools. They're too important. Second, he has proposed a $1.4 billion tax cut per year. He doesn't say how we pay for it. Literally thousands of teachers could be laid off in Virginia if that happened. At a time we should be investing in education, we cannot be cutting teachers. Teacher pay is an important issue. We need our teachers teaching science, technology, engineering, and math earlier. We need to retain the best teachers, and we need to recruit the best STEM teachers. You cannot do that. Today, if you take average Virginia pay to average teacher pay, we rank 50th out of 50 states. We rank dead last. That is very hard to bring the best teachers in. Secondly, thousands of our teachers are nearing the retirement age. How do you replace those teachers? I pay for it, and I'm very specific about this, because it's an important question to ask politicians how they pay for their proposals. The Medicaid expansion will free up $500 million in the general fund, which I can then use for my priorities, and my priorities are teacher pay, reforming the SOLs, pre-K, early childhood development, investing in community colleges, in financial aid at the four-year institutions.
Tell us how to fix terrible traffic congestion in especially Northern Virginia.
The reason why I think on CNBC we went from #1 in the nation to 5th for doing business. And this is important distinction, because I do believe, I agree with you, I think this is so important. It was a real defining moment this year in Virginia. For 27 years, we could not get any funding passed. This year, Governor Bob McDonnell put forth a plan. Democrats and Republicans came together for the first significant funding in 27 years. I supported the plan. I went to the General Assembly. I spoke twice to the Democratic Senate caucus and twice to the Democrats in the House of Delegates. 4 different times. I supported it. My opponent, Ken Cuccinelli, tried to stop it. He was against it, and at the last minute supported a Tea Party alternative that would have derailed transportation. So let's be clear. On transportation, I was for it. My opponent was against it. The Silver Line, spectacular. Our metro, which is now going to Dulles Airport and will then go on into Loudoun County. Huge economic development. It gets cars off of roads. My opponent is the only statewide official that was against it. He's against the metro, the Silver Line expansion. He even went as far to say that he would kill the project after it was halfway constructed. You cannot grow an economy unless you can move folks around, because you're right. We're stuck in traffic 67 hours a year. Dorothy, my wife, and I have 5 children. They all play sports. It affects quality of life. It's hard to go see your children play a ball game in the afternoon because it's gridlock. Route 7 used to be great. We don't get on Route 7 after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because traffic is so bad. So I am a governor that's going to focus on easing congestion, economic development pieces. I supported the governor's transportation package. My opponent, Mr. Cuccinelli, was against it.
Endorse Konaming Donghae. So what are you going to do for Korean community economically and healthcare, Medicaid expansion or something as a governor?
This is probably the single biggest reason to come out and vote on November 5th, because the next governor is really going to determine the Medicaid expansion. I support the Medicaid expansion. Ken Cuccinelli does not. He is willing to forfeit $21 billion of our money and let that go to other states around the country. Thousands of folks would get access. 400,000 Virginians would get access. Many Korean Americans who today, who are watching this show, do not have health coverage, that when the Medicaid expansion goes in, will get health coverage. It's paid for. It's bringing our federal tax dollars back to Virginia to run through our economy and create 33,000 new jobs. So just so your viewers are clear, my opponent doesn't want the $21 billion in Medicaid expansion. He didn't support the $6 billion in transportation. He wants to cut $1.4 billion tax cut out of our budget, which could cause thousands of teachers to be laid off next year. He and his running mate, E.W. Jackson said last week that they believe that the corporate income tax should be eliminated in Virginia. We can't grow and diversify our economy. As governor, I want the Korean American community to know that I will be there for them. I will have an open, diverse government. My cabinet appointments and my appointments will reflect the true diversity of Virginia. The Korean American community will have a seat at the table in my administration. I think it's important that diversity reflect all the folks who live in Virginia, so I am excited. I need your vote. The vote is on November 5th. The stakes are huge, but I want everyone to know that when you elect me as governor, I will work around the clock, 7 days a week, to make sure we're growing, diversifying our economy, and making Virginia open and welcoming with the best education system, Medicaid expansion, and a great transportation infrastructure.
Are you willing to give an aid to build a Korean Community Center as a governor?
I want everybody to know that I will be a governor that will have the Korean American community's interests at heart. I have a strong relationship with Korea. I was President Clinton's first ambassadorial appointment when he was elected president in early 1993. He appointed me. I was the Ambassador Commissioner General in Daejeon, Korea, and spent a year back and forth in Korea working together. So I have a long affinity and a long, close relationship with Korea and the Korean American people. So I say thank you and kamsahamnida.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Great to be with you. Thank you.